Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there we go. Hey, chat. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Yes, I am doing a slightly earlier stream than usual. It's 2 hours earlier than the previous Sunday streams. First, for two reasons. First of all, I have some other stuff to do later today, so I need to push this a little bit earlier. But also because I'm also trying out a little bit of an earlier stream, and I'm going to see if maybe people prefer that or not. But yeah, so I didn't make any like big announcements or anything that would be super earlier, but hopefully that works out. Hopefully it's fine. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm going to quickly post that we are live, and we'll get started shortly. I'm also super excited because there's like some big things happening for the stream that I can enact next week. So I'll announce that very shortly. I'm just going to quickly post that we are live and everything. For Exis, Hamza, Tribal. The URL is a little bit weird. Hopefully it's okay. Should be okay. All right, we're going to broadcast it. YouTube, we'll say 2 hours. Let's broadcast it for 2 hours. All right, should be good. Yep. All right. Alrighty, chat. Budget Eldrazi does not sound exciting, Sally. I mean, it's counters and Eldrazi. It's kind of like Rakdos. Think like Rakdos Lord of Riots, but +1/+1 counters themed. It's like 8 to 9 p.m. in Europe right now, FYI. Yeah, I feel like that's a good amount of time. And then for Pacific, for PST people, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. And for EST, or EDT or whatever, it's 2 p.m. So I'm just trying it out. I'm seeing how this time period works. If people prefer it to be a little bit later, 2 hours later, we could always do that going forward too. It would be 4 p.m. instead. So it's just what people like. Just trying out new things a little bit, little tweaks here and there. This time we have some pretty spicy options. I'm really excited for it. So we just posted, we are online, and I will start the polling very shortly, but there's going to be a couple changes that I'm really excited to announce. So first off, my microphone. I've been using this Audio-Technica USB mic. It's the ATR 2100. I've been using this baby for, I want to say 5 years. I want to say more than 5 years. I've been using it ever since I've been making like my very first video. So it's been forever. But the thing is kind of old, and when I upgraded my computer, there's been a buzzing sound that I could never get rid of, which is just really annoying, and obviously it caused complications for like stream and everything like that, but also for just doing videos and stuff. The quality of the microphone is just kind of showing its age. So I went all out. I bought a new microphone, a lot of money for it, did the whole thing. It's not a USB mic, and it's going to be all arriving next week. So I'm super excited for when that microphone shows up. It's definitely going to be upgrading the quality of the streams and also the quality of all the videos that I'm going to be doing in the future. So I'm like super excited for that. I also got new lights too that have been ordered and hopefully being picked up sometime this week. Elgato key lights. Right now I use the cheapest lights that I could have found on Amazon. They're umbrella lights, and I actually have one just like very like very budgety setup where I literally put one of my umbrella lights literally on my desk and it's aimed down at me, and it kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. So we got new lights too, new microphone. I'm very excited for the little level up here. So yeah, we're trying out a new time. We're trying out some new gear. I'm very excited. Welcome everybody. Welcome CML. Hello Bees702. Hey T. I'm glad it works well for you T. Hey Alex. Hey Extra. Hey Evan. Hey Christoph. How's it going? I was hoping you would force us to choose between only the deans today. Oh man. I mean, I still have to enjoy my options, unfortunately. Okagachi. Yeah, Okagachi has a stipulation though. I'll get into it shortly. Hey Santu, it's 2100 from me. First time catching you live because of it. Yeah, some people can make it, some people can't. Unfortunately, you're never going to be able to stream at a time where it works for everybody. So generally speaking, I think whenever I stream, it's basically inconvenient for people who are living in America versus people who live in Europe. And I just kind of go with one and hope for the best. 2 p.m. stream though, we'll see how effective that is. But I could do 2 hours later. I can't go too late for Sundays though. But we've enjoyed 4 p.m. I just couldn't do it today. We'll see how it goes for today anyway. I've been playing Hamza. I've been struggling to find a good balance. I'd like to see your take. Yeah, Hamza is going to be one of the harder ones. And I know this is people who come to me with like counter decks or token decks often have difficulties. Come to me with the difficulty of trying to balance it too. So that's going to be part of the deck building tackling that we're going to do here. Hello. Gyomi was last week. Yeah, Gyomi already won. So we already did a Gyomi deck. Very sweet deck. I thought it worked better than I expected, to be honest. Is there enough support for Arcane? There is. You send me a list. CJ. One second, I just have to send something out. Twitter. All right. Do we know what we are making? All right. So here is the plan, chat. Everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. We are going to be doing another Backseat Brewing. So the idea behind the Backseat Brew, which I will share with you all, to anyone with this link. There it is. I'm going to be updating the video description so you can follow along. Sharing the document right now so y'all can check it out as well. So the idea behind the Backseat Brew is basically everybody who has joined me live right now gets to decide what deck we are going to be building together. So I'm going to provide 4 options. The 4 options today are Exodus, or Reek Overlord / Awaken the Blood Avatar. The second option is Brina the Demigod. Third option is Hamza, Guardian of Irration. And the fourth option is Okagachi Vengefulkami. So each one has its own archetype that I had in mind. For Exis, we're going to be doing Mardu Aristocrats. For Breena, we're going to be doing Politics and +1/+1 counters. For Hamza, we're going to be doing +1/+1 counters and then big payoff finishers. I put Eldrazi here, but it's not an Eldrazi deck. It's just like big creatures. That's a more descriptive thing. It's not necessarily Eldrazi, but Eldrazi are like the usual thing which you can ramp out with it. And Okagachi, I picked Okagachi specifically to be a flavor option. It's not a Dragon Tribal deck. It's not a Spirit Tribal deck. It's not a Politics deck. It's Arcane Tribal. And I figured I wanted a 5-color commander to have access to all the Arcane spells. And out of the 5-color commanders, Okagachi is the most flavorful because it is the Kamigawa 5-color legendary. That's the only reason why Okagachi is there. We're not building around Okagachi per se. We're building around Arcane Tribal. So those are the 4 options. Once we've selected one of the 4 options, we're going to go through the deck building process. And since I've done this a few times, I've kind of like made an efficient, organized way of doing it so we can get the whole thing done within 3 hours. And the deck building process is essentially going through my deck building checklist piece by piece. So we're going to first start with the lands, and we're going to try to add around 37 lands. Then we're going to add ramp. We're going to add 13 ramp. Then we're going to add card draw and removal and board wipes, yada yada. We're going to go down the list, and every single time I go to a section, like lands, for example, I will ask you, chat, to suggest me lands that you want to see in the deck. Or when I'm at ramp, I'll ask, hey, what's some good ramp for the deck as well? And we go through that section by section until we basically finish everything with finishers. Then, if there's anything that doesn't fit any of the categories, we'll add those. And then the final piece of the puzzle is we're going to cut down to 100 cards. This way, it keeps the deck building process nice and organized instead of like a chaotic mess. In previous Backseat Brewing, basically what I would see in chat is basically people would like spam literally hundreds of cards for the deck that are really sweet in the deck, but it's literally just hundreds. So I literally took hundreds of card options that were being suggested to me, and I threw them in a list, but there was no like rhyme or reason to them. It was just like 100, 200, 300 cards. They were good in theory in a commander deck that we were building, but there was no way to cut it down to anything that was legible. We had to figure out how much ramp we added, how many lands we added, how much removal we needed, all those things. It was incredibly inefficient. So I added a new caveat that I haven't added in the previous guides, where I'm going to ignore card suggestions if they aren't relevant to the section that we're currently working on. Just because doing it section by section is a way to make it more organized and time efficient and everything like that. So you can still suggest it. I'm going to ignore it though, unless I'm at that particular section. It's just to organize the whole process and streamline everything. And I'm sorry, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm getting ignored and he hates me or anything. That's not the case. It's just I find going section by section, building it piece by piece, is a really, really time-efficient way of doing it. Because, like, if we go and we add 37 lands, for example, then we already know we have enough lands. If we add 13 ramps already into the deck, then we know we have 13 ramp, instead of just, like, dumping 300 cards and being like, all right, well, what do we need to cut? Like, how much ramp do we have in the deck? Let's count piece by piece out of 300 or whatever. So that is the way going forward. Apologies for the rambliness. But yes, welcome everybody. So that is a whole process. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give you a little pitch on each of the 4 options that I put here, just very briefly, so that you're familiar with it. After I go through every single option, we're going to put up a straw poll, and then you get to vote on it. And we're going to give it, the poll is going to be 10 minutes long, and then whatever has the most votes, we will build together. All right, so the first option is the returning option, Extus Auric Overlord. Extus has shown up, I think, in 2 previous polls so far, and it's always been a very close second. So I felt obligated to give it another shot because there is a lot of popularity behind Extus. This is a Mardu Aristocrats deck, and it's an MDFC. One sign is a Orzhov Magecraft card that is a highly efficient graveyard recursion. It has a stipulation where you have to cast an instant or sorcery, and you can only return a non-legendary creature card. But the effect of it is absolutely insane. Like, you have like a bunch of creatures in the graveyard. You cast Extus, you cast some instants or sorceries just for random value, and you get a bunch of creatures back to your hand. It's really, really effective at what it does. And then the backside is more appealing, I find, to people who are building Extus. The idea is you have a sorcery in your command zone, which is very unique, very cool. And Awaken the Blood Avatar costs 8 mana, but it costs 2 less mana for each creature you sacrifice as an additional cost to cast a spell. So you can actually cast it for just black and red repeatedly if you really wanted to, if you're sacrificing for the first time 3 creatures, and then subsequently, if you're sacrificing more and more creatures, you can continue casting it for just black and red. So it's a very unique style of spell, and the effect is also incredibly powerful. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, and then you create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste that says whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. So basically, when it enters the battlefield, or like when you resolve the spell, each person sacrifices a creature, which is great. Nice removal. And then you immediately have a 3/6 token that essentially is dealing, 15 damage per swing. So it's pretty fantastic. People are mentioning Yomi. We actually did Yomi either last week or 2 weeks ago. So if you are interested in seeing Yomi being brewed, just check out the VOD on that one, because Yomi already won. So that's why it's not an option here. So the next one that we have is Brina the Demigod. So Brina is actually one of my favorite new commanders from either of the sets. I think it's like top 3. And of the new commanders in the set, it's probably one of the 2 that I'm actually interested in actually building like a paper version of. It's like Brina and Veyran basically are the only 2 that I would consider adding to my paper deck. And I added Brina here because I did a precon upgrade recently, Silver Quill Statement. And what I did with the Silver Quill Statement precon, I can show it real quick, is instead of doing a $50 budget upgrade and doing like 30 plus cards, I took feedback from previous precon upgrades, which were saying essentially the budget list, $50 was way too much to upgrade a precon because it was more money than the actual precon itself. That was feedback I got quite a lot. And the other thing was that I was replacing too many cards. Like I was replacing, I think the Witherbloom Witchcraft was like, I replaced 35 cards of a 100 card deck. And people were like, well, at that point, like, why are you upgrading the precon? Like, just build from scratch. So I took that feedback to heart, and I did 10 upgrades for only $20. Now, unfortunately, the feedback on this one was even worse. It was even worse because people felt like I switched tracks in the midst of an upgrade series. And since I did $50 and many upgrades for the previous precons, because I did $20 and only 10 here, that it didn't really mesh with the rest of the upgrades that I did. So people didn't like that. So I figured, why not give Breena another shot as a backseat brew instead of building upon just this precon deck, the Silver Quill Statement. We will build Breena from scratch, and we'll give her as stylized, as a unique of an identity as we can possible. I will still focus on politics and +1/+1/+1 counters, so it will have a lot of resemblance to the precon itself, but we're going to be starting from scratch and we're going to give Breena the big treatment that people were hoping for, essentially. Can you Shadrix? I think Shadrix is a much less interesting commander than Breena. I think Breena's power potential is just insanely higher. And Shadrix is really good. I would put Shadrix in the 99, but I think it's a much less interesting and powerful commander. Tomer, that is what you get for being nice and trying to appease. I mean, it was a valid point. It was valid points that I switched gears midway through precon. Most of the time, sometimes I get feedback where it's like, oh, why don't you do $100 upgrade? Why didn't you do a $200 upgrade? This is too many cards. This is too few cards. And I'm like, you can never please everybody, but I do agree with the feedback that switching gears in the same upgrade series is probably not ideal. If people are upgrading all these, like buying all these precons and upgrading all of them with my upgrades, it feels a little bit weird if one's $20 and the other ones are $50 worth of upgrades. In the future, though, I will be upgrading my precons like this. I will be doing 10 upgrades, $20, because I do agree that, like, you know, upgrading 35 cards with a $50 upgrade, which is more than the precon itself, doesn't feel like an upgrade. It feels more than an upgrade, you know? So in the future, this is what I'll be doing. But, you know, feedback for Breena, people wanted more Breena, so we will have that as an option. Next one we got is Hamza, Guardian of Irration. Hamza is a commander that I feel like is underrated, but also like the people who have seen Hamza kind of understand how good Hamza is. This is a commander that has a lot of really cool text to it, and it's an uncommon, which you just gotta give thumbs up when you have like a really cool uncommon commander. The spell itself costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So the idea is if you have 4 or more creatures with +1/+1 counters on them, Hamza can be cast for just 2 mana. And you can get around like commander attacks and stuff like that by having more creatures afterwards to offset the attacks of 2 mana each time. So that's really cool. Like you can drop this down on the battlefield for 2 mana for a 5/5. And then the other ability is also incredibly powerful. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So the idea is kind of trying to do multiple different things at once. You want to have a bunch of creatures. You want to have counters on those creatures to get a massive discount for both Hamza itself and creature spells that you're going to be casting in the future. And then you want to have these big, stompy payoff cards, these big creatures that you want to cheat out with Hamza's ability. So there's a lot of different things that are going on with Hamza, and the trick to building a good Hamza deck is that you want to have the right ratios of everything. Basically, you can kind of think of Hamza as like a Selesnya version of Rakdos, Lord of Riots. Rakdos wants you to deal damage, and when you deal damage, creature spells cost 1 less to cast. So you cheat out huge, big creatures like that. Rakdos is generally more expensive, though, and Hamza actually has better support at what it's doing, which is counters instead of life loss. So it's a different riff on it, and it's also very budget friendly. The deck can be done on a $50 budget very easily, I think. All right, and then the final one is Okagachi Vengefulkami, but this is kind of actually not the commander that we're specifically building around. I chose it mostly because I wanted the colors. I wanted all 5 colors because I want to build an Arcane Tribal deck. Arcane is a instant or sorcery subtype that you could only find in 3 sets, the Kamigawa block. So there's only 93 arcane spells ever printed, but I've always had a soft spot for them. And the main gimmick of arcane is that it has a mechanic to it called Splice onto Arcane. Whenever you cast an arcane spell, you can splice onto it another arcane spell in your hand, its effects on that spell. So like you cast Ethereal Haze, for example, it's an arcane spell. Pay 1 mana or 1 white to cast it to fog the table. Then when you're doing that, you can if you have Evermind in your hand, for example, you can splice onto it by paying 2 more mana to cast a copy of Evermind, drawing a card. And it's just a very unique style of deck. It's very gimmicky, and there are some infinite combos. It's very janky, but there are infinite combos. It's essentially a Spellslinger deck too, because it's all instant sorceries. So there is some weirdness with the deck, and it is very unique. And it's something that I remember playing against one time, and I was like, this deck is really cool. So I thought, why not give it a shot? And I thought about that like 2 years ago, and then I just never ended up building it myself. For people who are curious, I don't actually even remember the exact combo with it. I know it involves psychic puppetry, but I don't remember the rest of the steps. I don't remember the rest of the steps. I actually asked Mudsta, Andrew, if he can ask the person who played the arcane deck that I was thinking about what the combo is. And he emailed him, but I don't know if we'll get it in time. But I have his deck list, but I don't know if it will work. Would the Modern Horizons non-arcane spells be fair game? I think so. But I think we want to be an arcane deck. But I want to see if we can win with it. But yeah. So those are the 4 options. I've rambled enough, friends. So let us get to the straw poll action. So I'm going to set up the straw poll. What are we going to call it? Backseat, brew, choose your commander. So we're going to have Extus or Reek. I'll just copy these options. Why am I typing out? Why am I making it extra hard for myself when I can use technology? Whoop. Did I do something? All right. So we are creating the poll. We are sharing the poll. We are posting the poll here, and we're posting the poll in the documents. And you can vote at your leisure, friends. We're gonna give the poll 10 minutes. 10 minutes starting now. And we'll see what wins, shall we? Do you want to see the results happening live, or do you want it to be a surprise? Because I can press the results button now, or I can leave it as a surprise so you don't know which one's winning. And, ooh, you want to see it live? Surprise. Okay, surprise. Breena, surprise. Okay, we'll keep it as a surprise. We're going to give it 10 minutes. 10 minutes from now, we are going to choose a winner. And for those 10 minutes, you can, I guess, ask me anything. We're just going to chill for a little bit. Also, we're going to make it a $100 budget. Generally speaking, that's what it seems most people prefer the budget to be. $100 is affordable-ish for most people. We could go a little bit lower if people prefer, or higher if people prefer as well. But when I've done polls in the past, people prefer $100. So, yeah. We're going to keep it a surprise. Yeah. I think keeping it live, people will kind of know which one's winning. So it does affect voting process. I wanted to ask Tomer, building Manichi, but red has few tools for it. Any tips? I don't know what Manichi is. Manichi. Oh, wow. All right, this is why I don't know it. Wanted to build few has very few tools for it. Any tips? I don't know. Kill Electronics. This is a tough one. I can imagine there might be some trickery to do outside of mono red, because there's like, what's it, tireless, not tireless, tireless tribe. Like there are things in like Pauper that increases their toughness, and then you do like inside out. You like discard your hand, you inside out, and you punch somebody in the face for a ton of damage. I would assume Minichi does something like that too, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. In mono red, it's going to be a little bit tough. If you're using Minichi in the 99 of like, let's say a blue red deck, you have a bunch of cards, for example, that lower somebody's power. Blue has a lot of ways of lowering some creature's power, and then you could use Minichi's ability to kill them. What's the one that's like the maze? It's like a maze. It's a blue enchantment. It's also from Kamigawa. Mind something. What's the mind one? It's a blue enchantment. Creatures have negative power and toughness equal to like the cards in your hand. Maishin. Yes, Maishin the Mind Cage. Like you can imagine if you're in blue-red, you can have this enchantment on the battlefield, and then whenever you swap the power and toughness of a creature with the legendary creature, they just die because they'll have 0 toughness and it'll just immediately die. So Maishin plus Minichi is a combo, but or like a nice lockdown piece. But I don't know, just mono red, that would be tough. That would be rough. Trying to catch up. If you vote, you see the results live anyway. Yeah, but you have to vote first. That's the thing. Hi, Tomer. I'm considering building an equipment deck. I was wondering what you would consider to be a good finisher. Cauldra, World Slayer. Done. Easy. Nailed it. Isn't a $50 precon upgrade basically a $100 budget brew? Essentially, yes, Oliver. Essentially, yes. A general question in regards to Hamza's ability. Would you count a spell that puts many +1/+1 counters on a creature as a ramp ability? No. I would count the counters and Hamza's ability in particular as a single ramp source. Like Hamza itself would be one ramp source in the deck, and I wouldn't count any further. Like anything that puts on counters would not be ramp. I would not count it ramp in my checklist of 13 ramp cards. I wouldn't put it as a count to 13 ramp. But I would count Hamza itself as a ramp, as one of the ramp cards in the 13. Is power level within the $100 budget a consideration at all? I try to optimize decks as best as possible within our given restrictions. So, for example, for the Exis deck, if we were doing a $100 budget, I would try to make it as optimized and powerful of a Mardu Aristocrats deck as I can come up with, given our 3 hours together on stream. Same thing if I was building a Breena deck right now. I would focus on the main themes that I set up on. I would want it to be a politics deck. I would want to focus on counters, but I would still try to make it as optimized as possible within those restrictions and within our $100 budget. Okagachi, for example, though, like Arcane Tribal is definitely not an optimized strategy or an optimized archetype, but we'll try to optimize it as best as we can. The idea is to focus on arcane cards and win with arcane spells is going to be the main objective, and we'll try to optimize that objective as best as we can within our objective and $100 restriction. This one too, Psychic Puppetry, Desperate Ritual, Dual Casting. Yeah, I think that might be one of the ones. Psychic Puppetry. I remember Psychic Puppetry was one of the cards for it. That sounds about right, Jeff W. How was filming with Play to Win? I was super surprised to see that collab. Play to Win was kind of interesting because like I've been a fan of theirs for a very long time, and we got them on board. We got them on board to guest star in Commander Clash in, I think it was season 8 when we were doing all guests. Like we had 3 crew members and 1 guest slot, and yeah, we brought them on. But ever since then, they've like essentially just keep getting better and better. And I think it was the only collab that I did in recent memory where I kind of fanboyed a little bit. Like I was super stoked when we were actually sitting down and playing, and then when the video went up today, I was like, ee! Like I got like kind of like butterflies a little bit like that. So it was really good. Like they're both Dylan and Cameron are both really really cool people, really really chill. I really enjoyed playing CDH with them. I don't play CDH that often, but I really enjoy playing it when I do. And both of them are just like very chill and like I like how when we did CDH and when I do CDH with people, we kind of like help people at the table. Like it's not about like trying to withhold information or being like gotcha, like no take backsies or stuff like that. It's more like if somebody doesn't see a line, like it's not like the worst thing in the world to be like, oh, I think you can still pull off, XYZ combo. Um, and I it just felt like very welcoming. It felt like I don't know. Whenever I play with CDH people, they're always incredibly welcoming, very inclusive, very helpful. Like it's not about trying to like dominate the other person. It's all about like kind of like trying to play the best you can and helping others play the best you can. I don't know. Like my stream of thought here is I don't know. I really like Play to Win. I really like Play to Win. I like the CDH community that I've interacted with so far. And I enjoyed it. I definitely would love to do more of that in the future. Which band card are you most excited to try out in the upcoming band clash? I want to see Balance just absolutely wreck people. Balance is probably my favorite band card, and it should stay banned because the card is disgusting. But I really want to see just like this, like empty everybody's hands, destroy a whole bunch of lands, and wipe the board of creatures. Like just wreck people. Hopefully that happens. Do you have any tips for building Lelia? I think she's fun and she should be good on a budget. Yes, there's one card I would recommend for Lelia is Bag of Holding. I never did really I didn't do any like further testing of her, but like as soon as I saw Lelia, I was like Bag of Holding. Whenever you discard a card, you exile it from your graveyard. Each time you're exiling a single card, you're getting +1/+1 on Lelia. That's insane. That's insane. Because like, let's say you wheel, for example, right? You wheel your hands of like, I don't know, 7 cards. Each one will get an individual Bag of Holding trigger, right? And then each individual Bag of Holding trigger will give a +1/+1 counter on Lelia. It's like, that is sexy. I like it a lot. Just cheap, but Maishin, one more. Okay. Hi, Tomer. Do you know if Varen's static ability double Goldspan Dragons triggered ability to make treasures? I don't. Goldspan. So you're saying when you're targeting it, right? If you're targeting it with a instant or sorcery spell, if you're targeting it with an instant sorcery spell, then yes, you will get double the triggers, double the treasure tokens. If you're talking about whenever it attacks, it won't happen when it attacks. But if you target specifically with an instant sorcery, you will get double with Varen. I saw a sweet budget infect Breena list earlier that might serve as some cool inspiration. That could be pretty sweet, Tyler. Tomer approaching Quintorius levels of cute. Aw, thanks. Grafted exoskeleton for an alt win con? Possibly. Hey, Tomer, how do you feel overall about C21's commanders? I feel like they're all really good and easy to build around. I don't usually build around 2C commanders, but I kind of want to build. I really like the C21 commanders. I like them a lot, and it really annoys me that Magic Online doesn't have any of them available. There's like four commanders that made it from C21 on Magic Online, and like I'm super excited for them, much more so than the Strixhaven ones. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer that we can't play with them. Ugh. I love them. I love them a lot. Veyran and Breena are my top two, personally. I've been building up my Essex's deck. Do you have any low-key cards you think would be a good fit? Not really, Brodun. I haven't really been brewing with Essex that much. The only thing that immediately popped up, but you probably already know, is like Avenger of Zendikar and Master of Waves. Those two are going to make an insane amount of tokens, but I don't really know beyond that. Maybe chat knows. Table's trying to solve a puzzle. Oh yeah, I love that about CDH. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the table's trying to solve a puzzle. Yeah, exactly, Drazitits. Like, it seems like it's like very collaborative, and it's very much like it's like a learning process for the table. And I don't know. I really like it. Like sometimes it just feels good to put away politics and like grudges and all that stuff and just be like, let's try to play an optimized game and we'll help each other get as optimized as possible. And I feel like that mentality is just so like healthy and good. I like grudges. I like politics. I love all that stuff. Like obviously, I consider myself more of a casual player, and I would not go like full CDH, like all the time. But like it's just such a nice palate cleanser, to bust out CDH and change your mentality. Also, like I don't get like salty about stacks. I don't get salty about like hull breacher and stuff like that when I'm playing CDH. Like my brain, there's a switch in my brain where like stacks is not just like neutral. I'm neutral about any like mean strategy. I welcome it sometimes because I know it's going to be hurting, the person who's about to combo and stuff like that. But if I see it at a casual table, like I don't want to see Winter Warp at a casual table. I don't want to be Hull Breacher Wheel. Like those actually annoy me a lot. But when I'm at CDH, my brain is in a totally different mode. So I don't know. I like it a lot. Okay, hey Tom, we're making Mathis deck. Is there any good payoffs cards that synergize with Mathis? Bounty Hunter. Well, you already know that one. All right. I think it has been enough time. 14 minutes. We've passed. Sorry for going a little bit rambly. We shall see who won. Let's check the results. Dun, dun, dun. Woo! I did not expect this one, honestly. Brina the Demigod seems like it's got it with 58 votes. I did not anticipate this one. I thought people did not like Breena, to be honest. I thought people did not like Breena. I thought Arcane Tribal nobody would vote for. I thought that's just like me. But like I am surprised. I'm surprised. All right, that's cool. I like this. I can jam with this. All right. We have the victor. It is Breena. Exodus will be forever second. Exodus has an undying ability to forever be second, and I respect Exodus for that. I respect it. It's great. Arcane Tribal I'll probably bring back. Exodus I'll probably bring back. Hamza I think is going to get retired at this point. But we're going to go play Breena this time, and I'm very excited for that. Like I said, Breena is probably one of my favorite new commanders from either of the sets, so I'm happy to try and give this deck a little bit more justice because people were not, like I said, people were not happy with this upgrade. It was too little for them. So we're going to try and do a little bit better with this one. All right, so now that we've decided upon our deck, we are doing Brina the Demigod. It's going to be politics, and it's going to be, I wish I knew how to do the tools. How do I just... I swear, I knew how to. I want to just cross out. What's the thing for cross out? Man, do I not know? Strike? I just want to do a strike through. Whatever. We'll just delete it. We don't need it. We don't need them anymore. All right, so it's going to be Breena. Or whatever. I'll just say it's a winner. I'll say it's a winner. Winner. There we go. So the deck's goals. We're excited because we want to manipulate our opponent's into killing each other. Well, I mean, why are we excited to play this deck, chat? I'll let you guys figure it out. Control. No. Oh. Strike through. Alt Shift 5? Why is it so complicated? Huh. That's a weird one. Alright, because bird. Alright. What do we want to do? Politics. Counters. Card draw. Caw-caw. How do we win? How do we win? Make opponents kill themselves. All right. Win with value. We're not here to win. We're here to caw-caw. What is even Brina's text again, Tober? All right, Brina is a weird one. There's no shame in asking this. So Brina, let me know if it's big enough for you, chat. By the way, Brina has a weird text that I actually got wrong initially. It says whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, if that opponent has more life than another of your opponents, that attacking player draws a card, and you put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature you control. So let's say it's your turn, and you attack an opponent that isn't at the lowest life total of your 3 opponents. So let's say you have an opponent at 20 life, an opponent at 30 life, and an opponent at 40 life. As long as you attack the opponent that has 30 life or the opponent that has 40 life, you're going to draw a card, and you're going to put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature you control. Now, initially, and also if you're an opponent of ours, and you attack an opponent that has higher life total than another one of its opponents, like let's say the opponent that is at 40 life, has the opponent at 20 life and an opponent at 30 life, and then us, as long as they attack the opponent at 30 life, they get to draw a card, and then we get to put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature we control. So we're kind of helping the table by letting them draw cards off this ability, but we're always going to come up ahead on this interaction because we're going to get counters out of it. So even though we're helping our opponent draw cards, we're always going to be getting 2+1/+1 counters out of the exchange, and it gets better. And it gets better than that because it can actually trigger, from my understanding, it can actually trigger more than once each turn. Again, let's say we have an opponent that is at 20 life, and an opponent at 30 life, and an opponent at 40 life. We could, for example, attack the opponent at 30 life with a creature, and attack an opponent at 40 life with a creature, and then we will draw 2 cards. We will get 2 triggers, drawing 2 cards, and gaining 4 counters in total. That is my understanding. I could be wrong. It might be limited to just 1 trigger. Neotic, you could feel free to correct me here. But my understanding is that we could actually get 2 triggers per combat cycle. Likewise, for an opponent, the opponent, let's say that it is at 20 life, and has an opponent at 30 and an opponent at 40, they can attack, the opponent at 30 and the opponent at 40 in the same combat, thus drawing 2 cards in the process, and we get 4 counters in the process as well. So think of it like the reason why I like Brina so much is obvious. Like it's Edric. It's Orzhov Edric, right? You're not drawing as many cards as Edric will, obviously, because Edric draws for every single creature that deals combat damage, and it doesn't matter what the life total of your opponents are. So each can draw a stupid amount of cards. Breena is only going to be drawing 1 to 2 cards per combat, up to that. But the idea is still the same. We are helping our opponents, but we are going to be gaining the most out of it. It's a card draw engine for us as well. It makes a bunch of counters. It can make up to like 16 counters per turn. And draw like 4 cards or whatever, or sorry, draw 8 cards and make 16 counters. So that can be pretty insane. And it also incentivizes our opponents to attack each other. They might not want to be attacking each other. They might be wanting to even attack us. And this incentivizes them to at least commit something each combat to our mutual opponents. So that is an incredibly powerful politics angle to fight under, and it's only 4 mana. And remember, Brina also comes with flying, so she herself comes with built-in evasion to trigger this ability for us. So this card is really good. I think this card is fantastic. I really like this card a bunch. So I'm more than happy to start brewing with it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a Brina deck based on politics and counters. And we're going to kind of figure things out as we go. But what I'm going to be starting with first, chat, is I'm going to be starting with the lands. Then I'm going to be moving to the ramp. Then I'm going to be moving to card draw, target removal, board wipes, recursion, tutors, graveyard hate, and finishers. And every single time we go to a section, I'm going to look to you guys, chat, guys, gals, and those that lie betwixt. I'm going to look at you all to give me suggestions on what you want to see in the deck. So we're going to be starting things off, first and foremost, with the lands. And well, I guess first and foremost, we're going to start with making the deck itself. So we're going to do Breena, $100 as our budget here. And we're going to start with the lands. And we're going to be starting with a clean slate. And I'm going to be using a lot of Scryfall for this. So the way I find lands and whatnot, we're going to do Commander Legal. We're going to start with lands. And the one thing that I like is I like lands that tap for both colors, mana fixing. So these are some big ones at the beginning. We're just going to throw in a bunch. We're going to cut down, to $100 budget. But we're going to add like a bunch of Animal Sanctuary, Command Tower, Godless Shrine. We might not have Godless Shrine in the eventual thing, or Forbidden Orchard, but Tyrite Sanct, yes, Shambling Vent. Well, I'll still throw them on, but like let's say Forsaken Sanctuary, Vault of the Archangel. I usually throw in the lands last. We could, but I'm just gonna start with it. It's not gonna take that much time. We'll fix it up afterwards too. Orzhov Basilica. I'm basically adding almost all of these, by the way, chat, because I love me some tap lands that tap for both colors. I mean, they're not as good as untapped lands, obviously, but I like being able to repeatedly cast all my spells on time. Silent Clearing? How much is Silent Clearing? Temple of the False God? No. Silver Quill Campus. Path of Ancestry is definitely going in. I don't know how many Warlocks or Birds we'll have, but I don't really care. Snowfield Sinkhole. Yeah, Temple of Silence. And Vault of Champions. We're actually missing at least one. We're missing the Tainted card. What's the name of the Tainted card, chat? It's Tainted Field? I think it's Tainted Field. I think you typed in Sinhole. Oh man. Snowfield Sinhole. Oh boy. All right. Well, so some of these are a bit expensive. Gyro Reach Sanitarium. We're looking for politics utility lands. Not really. Did you get Caves of Koilos? I think I missed it. It didn't show up. How did Caves of Koilos not show up? There's some weird stuff that didn't make it. All right. We'll add in Caves of Koilos. Oh yeah, plains, swamps. We're gonna start chopping down some of the more expensive ones. Is that I know I'm not going to have enough budget for Forbidden Orchid, even though it's good, and Gaulish Shrine, even though it's good. We'll probably Silent Clearing is a little bit too expensive too, and Throne of the High City. What does it do? It's a bit too much. Wow, Throne needs a reprint, huh? So we'll take out Throne. And we'll take out the vaults. We'll take out both vaults because they're both kind of expensive. Vault of the Archangel. Nephalia Academy? What's Nephalia Academy? Mikokoro was in the precon. Karn's Bastion? Maybe. Mikokoro. I think we also need a Tectonic Edge. I really like Tectonic Edge as a budget-friendly way of removing utility lands. I don't really like Mikokoro, to be honest. I don't think I want to be running it. Animal Sanctuary. I feel like this card is way too slow, but we'll keep it in for now. Karn's Bastion's $5. There's no way we care about Karn's Bastion that much. I feel like if anything requires paying 5 mana to activate, we don't want to be in a position where we want to activate it. You know what I mean? Like I also don't really care about the Silver Quills campus that much for that reason. But Rogue's Passage is a good one. We'll take out the Karn's Bastion. We'll take out Isolated Chapel, and we'll take out, I think that's it, Concealed Courtyard maybe. Snarl is $1 right now. Yeah, the Snarl's cheap. Look at the Snarl, it's under $2. It's fine. I think this is good for us for now, by the way, chat. We'll do like 9 swamp, 9 plains. Am I doing the math right? 35 lands, 36 lands. I feel like Animal Sanctuary is bad. I'll keep it though for now. Scavenger Grounds. Scavenger ones. Oh, Bajuka Bog. I want Bajuka Bog, not Scavenger Grounds. Reliquary Tower? Maybe. Alright, that's a good start. Labyrinth of Scophos. Labyrinth of Scophos. This is too much mana. This is too much mana. I don't know. It's fine, and we are a 2-color deck. It's fine, but like I'm not super into it. I think it's a good start. I think we'll move on for now. We might add some stuff afterwards. War Room's kind of expensive. Castle Lockwind I'm not too excited about. We're gonna just move on to the ramp, and we're also gonna use some of We're gonna use some of the stuff that made it into the end here, because I mean I had some good options. Knight of the White Orchid is less than $1. This is an amazing card for us. So we want to have 13 ramp cards, right? We want 13 ramp. So we want Knight of the White Orchid. We want Orzhov Signet. We want Talisman of Hierarchy, obviously. And what else did I put in here? I don't really like the Oreskos here or the Boreas Charger. Yeah. Surely I've added other stuff. Oh, Sol Ring's good. Sol Ring. Arcane Signet is good. Core Cartographer, the new map maybe. Meh. The map is expensive. Hi, I'm relatively new to MTGO. I have the client open for more than one match. It lags. Is there anything you did to fix this? I'm not sure, Spam Sam. I've never ran into that issue. It could be that if you just installed the game, what it does is it lets you play the game and it will install the rest of the card library while you're playing. So what I would recommend is keep the client open for like an hour or two and then go try and play it because it might have just not loaded everything yet. I think Coveted Jewel is worthy of it, yeah. I don't really count it as, like, ramp, though. Because, first of all, you won't even have control of it all the time. It is a good card. But it's expensive and, you won't have control of it all the time. What was it? Mind Stone is good. I think Everflowing Chalice is good, too. I think... I like Pendant of Prosperity a lot here. Prosperity. Yeah, the Archaeomancer's map is expensive. Victory Chime, Spectral Searchlight. I think those two are like, they're not great, but they do help. Oh, what's the thing that you give your opponents to let you put a land on the field? I think it's, are you talking about Pendant of Prosperity? You give it to an opponent and then they draw, you can activate it to draw a card, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Weathered Wayfarer. I don't know if Weathered Wayfarer... Well, Weathered Wayfarer is a tutor, not ramp, but I also think it's going to be expensive. I don't know what its price is at. Yeah, it's $9. Wouldn't mind... I don't like Tempting Contract. Spectral Searchlight, Victory Chimes, Why am I blanking? Tempting Contract, Stanger going. I just don't like. It could be good. It could be bad. I don't know. If people want it in, I will not. I will not oppose it. Yeah, we'll put in Victory Charms. We'll put in Spectral Searchlight. How much is Cryptghast these days? I like me a Cryptghast. Cryptghast is $10. My goodness. Stuff gets expensive. Wayfarer Bauble is like $3 too. We'll put in Psalm Simulacrum. We'll put in Burnished Heart. Those are nice and cheap. We'll put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One or two more would be good. Please, for the sake of sanity, do not play Searchlight on MTGO. Is it bugged on online? We can put in Star Compass. I think Star Compass is pretty cheap. $1.68 or 62. Not bad. Commander Sphere. It's a little bit slow. Thought Vessel. Is Thought Vessel expensive? I don't mind Thought Vessel. $2.50. I think it's fine. We got Talisman of Hierarchy in here. I think this is a good amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Kind of like a 15. I think this is a good start, chat. I think we're good. We'll come back to this later, though. The Wire Black Monument? I don't think so. Terrain Generator? Probably not. Do you play Rule of Law-like effects in this deck? I think we could. I definitely think we could. Prismatic Lens is a 2 CMC option. I think so. We could put it over Thought Vessel. If we're penny pinching, we could get Thought Vessel out for it. Thematic Compass? It's not really a ramp card, though. I wouldn't really consider ramp. It's also kind of expensive, I think. Thematic Compass. How much are you, Thematic Compass? 380? It's not too bad, actually. It's definitely very slow. And we need to have 7 or more lands on the battlefield. I feel like this card is better in green decks than it is here. I'm going to leave it out for now, but we can come back to it. Does a Rescos Explorer count as ramp? Not a good ramp. I don't really like it. Knight of the White Orchid. What's wrong with that? Is it an orchard? Knight of the White. What? Did I spell you wrong or something? What's your deal, Knight of the White Orchid? What is your deal? All right, that worked. Could you do Asmari at some point? What's Asmari? All right, we're going to move on to card draw, which is my favorite part of any deck. So one of the card draw spells in our deck is definitely Breena. Will the Compass a way to guarantee lane drops in the early game? Yeah, but it's very slow. It's very slow. I'd much rather just draw cards. Reconnaissance seems really good here. Not really. Isn't the Compass... You got a Knight... Oh, yeah. So we'll start with Knights. Knight's Whisper was kind of expensive, but we definitely have Sign and Blood. We definitely have Read the Bones. Oh, we were missing the we'll throw in Secret Rendezvous. I'm not a hater on it. I'm not a hater of Secret Rendezvous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was in the deck that had card draw? Ooh, yeah. This I think counts as card draw. I like this one. This is Shale, Dean of Radiance / Embrose, Dean of Shadow. I like this card as kind of like a pseudo kind of weak finisher / decent-ish card draw engine. The Embrose side is you can put a counter on a creature, and then you deal 2 damage to that creature. And then whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you draw a card. It's not like insane card draw, especially because we're not really like a sacrifice deck or anything. Nikara is much the same, but it performs the exact same function, I think. But I think having Shale and Embrose on the same card, I think is worthy. I don't really like Keen Duelists, to be honest. But I don't really like Fane. I think Fane's not that great. Ooh, Blood Tracker. I totally forgot Blood Tracker. Blood Tracker is really sweet here. We're definitely adding Knight's Whisper. How much is Knight's Whisper? It's $450. I feel like that's a little bit overpriced for what it does. A little bit. It's better than Sign and Blood in a 2-color deck, obviously, but not that much better. Secret Rendezvous, I think, is good. Siphon Mine is good. I think Siphon Mine's good. Blood Tracker, I really like, though. Blood Tracker is a great target to start putting counters on, because the more counters it has when it leaves the battlefield, you get to draw a card for each counter on it, and you can put counters on it by itself. So it's a bit slow, but I think it can definitely do things in the deck. What else did we have in here that was card draw related? I'm just stealing my own stuff. Shadric Silverquill, I think, is worth splurging on. He only draws 1 card per turn, but I do like a lot of the things he does. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose 2. Each mode must target a different player. A target player draws a card loses 1 life. Target player creates a 2/1 black Inkling creature token with flying, and target player puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature they control. I've seen this card in action. It's really sweet. If you don't want to be friends with anybody, you can draw a card yourself and then give somebody who doesn't have any creatures on the battlefield +1/+1 counters, so they effectively get nothing. You can give them Inkling tokens and then force them to attack other people with it if you have a ghostly prison effect and stuff like that. And he's also a great target to have counters on. So I like all these things. Mindless Automaton. Is Mindless Automaton good, or is it just a bad Blood Tracker? Mindless Automaton. I have a feeling it's a bad blood tracker. You remove 2 counters from it. Yeah, it's a bad blood tracker. I guess you can remove it whenever you want. Is that good enough? But you have to remove 2 counters on it, as opposed to blood tracker. Just you get one for each one. I don't know. I feel like this one's a little bit too bad. Pal Trailer and the likes from Monarchy. Monarchy could be good. Plume the Forbidden is good if we have an Aristocrat's Payoff too. Yeah, it could be good. I think Vixenrine is a little bit too slow. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. 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 I do like Promise of Power. Promise of Power is pay 5, draw 5. I think this card is still underrated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I love Necrologia. In this deck, though, it's a little bit dicey. I think Siphon Mine's sweet. Yeah. I feel like Nia is just a bad version of Embrose, right? I like these. These are good. The problem with was it Nikara? Nikara or something. There's like a bad version of Embrose out there. I like Secret Rendezvous in this deck. I might swap out Nice Whisper for something else, but I feel like this is a good start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a good start. And one of them is in our command zone, so we're gonna have access to it normally. So we're gonna move on from the card draw, which we've succeeded in. Where did I go? There I go. We're gonna move to targeted removal. So artifact, creature, enchantment, target removal, and counter magic, but we don't really have counter magic in our colors. What's good? There's like Swords of Plowshares. And there's Fracture. There's D-Spark. Anguish Unmaking is kind of expensive, but we could do Utter It if we really wanted to. There's Mortify. There's Font of Agonies. It's Font of Agonies, but we're not really a life loss deck. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of value out of it. We could Mana Tithe. If we really wanted to, we could Mana Tithe. I think that's more of a meme card, though. Ravenous Chupacabra, Path to Exile. Shinewind? What's Shinewind? Shinewind. It enters with a counter on it. This is very specific, though. How many times are you going to really want to be destroying enchantments? Like, it's a cute card, don't get me wrong. And it does work with Breena, but, like, you could only blow up enchantments. So there's going to be times where just, like, not doing anything, I think. Haggard Mauling. Sure. I'll count that more of, like, a creature, though. Or land, more of that. What was in the deck? What was in the deck that I considered removal? Do we want Stalking Leonin? It is cute. I'm not opposed to Stalking Leonin. I also like Author of Shadows. And this is a big old beefy card. You can give Author of Shadows a shot. Let's give Author of Shadows a shot. Well, this is going to be Graveyard 8, so it's going to be in a different spot, but... Heliod's Intervention is another one I like a lot. Lapse of Serenity. Do we want to count... Creature, Enchantment, Planeswalker. Yeah. Oh, Council's Judgment. I forgot about this card. Definitely want Council's Judgment here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're definitely up on the removal already. Retribution of Ancients. So, Stefan, I'm not actually there yet on Graveyard Recursion. We'll get to Retribution of the Ancients once I start working on Graveyard Recursion. Closing statement. This one's kind of like end of turn. So, end of turn, it costs 3 mana. Put a counter. It's fine. I guess it's fine. Tragic Arrogance is a board wipe, so I'm not adding it yet. We're just finishing up the targeted removal first. Kind of just skimming through the precon upgrade that I did to see if there's anything else that I really liked. Retribution. Oh, that's what I'm. Oh, sorry, Stefan. I was thinking about a different one. Retribution of the Ancients. Yeah, no, I still don't like it. I've had counter decks where I ran Retribution and I just still didn't like it. Because I don't want to remove my counters from things. This is not what I want to do. If you didn't have to remove counters, it would be good. But I'm sorry, Stefan. I misunderstood. I thought there's a white one where it's like instant speed returns a bunch of creatures. That's what I was thinking for. And then you exile them. Vanishing Verse. I feel like I'm not sure about this one. I don't know how many it's gonna hit. Devour in Shadow. Nah. Seems like too much mana. I'll try Palace Jailer. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. To get some Monarchy up in here. It's $1.99. Is there anything particularly super expensive? Knight's Whisper is kind of expensive. So how many removal spells? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11. We have 11. 37 lands. We got 11 removal. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like 14-ish. 14-ish ramp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 card draw. So that's where we're at right now. And then we have like 11-ish ramp removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Winds of Abandon, probably not. Baleful Mastery. Baleful Mastery. Not bad. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. All right. We'll move on for now. Board wipes. 3 board wipes. I think the deck wants 3 board wipes, by the way. And the board wipes in the deck, in the precon, were pretty good. So I do like Tragic Arrogance here. What do you think about Price of Fame? It's good. It's a budget option. We could definitely like remove, let's say, Path to Exile with Price of Fame. Let's do Vow of Loyalty, or sorry, Promise of Loyalty. I'm not sure how good it's going to be because we don't get to choose what that creature does, or what that creature is. But I feel like its upside is exactly what we want to be doing, right? So I'll put in Promise of Loyalty in here. So we got Tragic Arrogance, we got Promise of Loyalty. Undo inversion. Oh boy. Collective effort. Collective effort. That could be good. Could be good. Destroy enchantment, destroy creature, add counters. We can throw it in there. Collective effort. I think our revelation definitely is austere command. It's either austere command or our revelation needs to be in here. I think these three are pretty darn solid. Our revelation could go in here too. It could hurt us a bunch, but yeah, I think this is pretty good. Deadly Vanity. What's Deadly Vanity? Oh. It is a lot of mana. It's 8 mana. But we could probably get away with it, right? I'll toss it in. Winds of Abandon is one-sided. Yeah, it does give them a bunch of lands, though. I don't really like the land part so much. Let's look up Fortunate Few. I'm not familiar with that. Fortunate Few. Choose a non-land permanent you don't control. No. I remember this one. I didn't like it. Because it's very much like a collective effort board wipe as opposed to I paid 5 mana for my board wipe. I better get what I want out of it. Grass of Fate. It's political. It's not really. Blot Out the Sky. Yeah, Blot Out the Sky is an interesting one. It does make a lot of stuff. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but it makes a lot of tokens for you, but they come into play tapped. I really don't like the fact that they come into play tapped. I really wish they came into play untapped. But at the very least, they're going to destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. Problem is, like, you tap out to do this, but you're not getting rid of creatures. So being tapped down and tapped out for it is like, if this just came into play tapped, or untapped, I would have no problem. I would jam it in. But yeah, Magister of Worth is going to be definitely added soon. I'll throw it in soon. Let's say soon. Magister of Worth. Okay, so we're gonna just start with these 4 as the board wipes to start off with. Blot Out the Sky doesn't hit creatures. Yeah, it just hits non-creatures. It hits your own rocks. Yeah. Hi, Tomer. What commander do you recommend to start in the format, Raphael? It really depends what you want to be playing, Raphael. Is there any archetype in other formats that you enjoy? And then I could probably give you a better option. But if you wanted to keep it really simple, if you don't want to do like any research or anything into it, I would highly recommend just finding one of the Commander 2021 precons that you enjoy, and picking that up. And if it matches the colors that you like and the archetypes that you like, I would recommend one of the Commander 2021 ones, because I've done upgrades on all of them, and I can say with confidence that they're all pretty well built right out of the box. What's our end game here? We're pretty much trying to make our opponents kill each other, but we haven't really showcased that yet. So I'll keep moving on. So we'll get to the graveyard recursion bit. Magister of Worth is one of those. We'll say we have 4 board wipes, because we do. 4-ish board wipes, obviously. So Magister of Worth is kind of interesting in that it's not always going to be recursion. Sometimes going to be a board wipe. But you can either kill all creatures or return all of them to the battlefield. Very, very swingy in that regards. So the other thing we want to be doing is Together Forever any? Choose a creature. This is more like, I like this card. Don't get me wrong. I'll put it in, but this is more like protection than Graveyard Recursion. I'll throw you into a later pile, but can you explain your thoughts on Hedron Archive? Not in one stream. Not in this stream. So for Graveyard Recursion, I really like I wouldn't say I like Infernal Offering. I really like Incarnation Technique, though. I think this card's really sweet. Incarnation Technique. If we're talking recursion, then I really love Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord because it can also enable Breena attacks when your opponents are at the same life total. I don't mind that. Incarnation Technique is getting up there in price. Nope, it seems like it's pretty cheap. I like this card a bunch. Right now it's only $1.49, so I think that's good. Whip of Erebos. I don't like the whole. What about some white recursion spells? I don't know. I'm actually blanking a little bit on recursion. I really like Incarnation Technique. Magister of Worth is not consistent enough for me to consider it like thingy. Hour of Revelation, Hour of Reckoning, Phyrexian, Bond of Revival, Emerius Shepherd. Oh, Sun Titan. I forgot about Sun Titan. Let's throw in Sun Titan. Virtus's Maneuver. Virtus. We'll just type in Virtus. This is one like everybody sacrifices and then friends can get a creature. I like this one. I'll take you. I'll yoink you. I'll throw this more in the removal pile, though, I think. Because, like, you're going to get one thing back. But, I mean, it's a nice way to, like, lower the price of some of our removal, I think. Because, yeah, it's less than $1. Well, what do we want to bring back? Just creatures? Well, right now we have a lot of spells. We have some creatures. We have some artifacts, some enchantments. Not quite sure yet. Pulse Mage, What's Her Face, Recursion, and Political. I think Pulse Mage Advocate is much better when you have high CMC creatures to return, which we're not really there yet. I think Emerius Shepherd is pretty nice. I do like me a Emerius Shepherd for the late game. Debtor's Knell, I think, is a little bit too slow. Immortal Servitude. Dawnbreak Reclaimer. I don't know all these cards. Dawnbreak Reclaimer. Obsidat's Aid. I don't really like Obsidat's Aid. I've played with it before. At the beginning of your end step, choose a creature card in an opponent's graveyard. Then that player chooses a creature card in your graveyard. I think that could kind of work. I think we have some pretty good options here. Elixir of Immortality, just in case someone is milling. Nah. Nah. I feel like if somebody's milling, we just get one shot by a mill, right? Like, I've never seen, like, slow mill as a genuine threat. Mortal Servitude. What does Immortal Servitude do? Return each creature with Command Mana cost X. Nah, we have too much variety in what we want to be returning, so I think this is pretty decent. Revival Revenge. What's Revival Revenge? Revival Revenge. Whoop. So return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Double your life total. So it's like a bad unearth with another option. Nah. I think this is fine. I think this is pretty fine. I like these options. These are pretty good. Silver Quill Command. I think these are pretty good options. I'm gonna stick with these. We have like four-ish recursion. I think it's pretty good. Pretty happy with these. And I think like a Mirror Shepherd and stuff is super cheap. We have like 9 planes. We'll actually probably have more than 9 planes because I'm gonna do some tidying up here. I think more basics is good for the deck. All right, we're gonna move to flexible tutors. Flexible tutors. What is tutory in the deck? I don't think there's really anything, right? There's not really any +1/+1 counter focused tutoring that we can really grab. I think Diabolic Tutor is pretty basic, so we're gonna add that. Treasury Throw doesn't need to attack. Any black tutor, basically. Yeah, we're in black. We can have whatever we want. Witch's Claw 1 from Eldraine. I really don't like those. I don't like those too much. we'll toss in Unburial Rites. Yeah, that is a good one. Final Parting, Grim Tutor, Leona Vess. Final Parting, Varagoth. Wishclaw, Mausoleum Secrets. Can't go wrong. I don't really like Scheming Symmetry. I don't really like Wishclaw Talisman. I feel like our opponents are gonna get so much more value than us on those ones. Siege of Green, Burning Rune, Demon Flavor though. Yeah, I mean it is political, but I feel like we often end up handing over the win to our opponents by casting it because we really don't have a lot of ways to stop that. You might want some of the black transmute cards. Oh, what are your hits for Search for Glory? That's a good one. So we got Shale. We got is it only creatures? Is it only legendary creatures or is it any type of legendary spell? I think Search for Glory is good. Yeah. Legendary card. All right, so our hits are currently we can hit Shadrix, we can hit Shale, that's 2. We can hit basically, and we have a land. It's not that great. It's not that great so far, but I have a feeling we could add some snow basics. But we have at least one already. Snowfield Sinkhole. Doom Whisperer or Abyssal Persecutor for Trample. Varigoth Bloodsky Sire. I think we'll throw in Varigoth as an option, but we don't have any ways of giving Varigoth evasion. Yeah, we'll get to more creatures soon. So we have like 4-ish tutors. Well, we do have 4 tutors. We'll say 4 tutors. How did we miss Dowsing Dagger? Best card in Commander. I'm sad. How much is Dowsing Dagger these days? I like it. I like the card a bunch. Whole bunch, but I don't know how expensive it is now. Dowsing Dagger. It's $5. We'll leave it as an option, but we are getting close to our limit already. Let's do a quick save. Our Commander Fly too. Yeah, it works really well for Commander. Okay, so let's close this. We'll move to Graveyard Hate. And we have 2 options right now. We have Author of Shadows, which I already added to the deck. It doesn't really work with our politic angle or our counter angle. But I added it because it's kind of interesting. It's 5 mana, exiles all opposing graveyards. And it's a little bit of card advantage because you get to draw a card off it. I don't know if it's the best. It's probably not the best option here. But it's a new card, so I just toss it in here. I'm perfectly happy to cut it out. Oh, we also have Bajuka Bog. So we have 2 options here. Honestly, I don't think Author of Shadows is the best. If there's something better than that, especially if it's like a legendary creature that we can search up with Search for Glory. If it's a legendary graveyard hate card in Orzhov, I feel like that would be the best. Watcher of the Dead is pretty good. Remorseful Cleric's pretty good. Agent of Erebos is pretty good. Yeah, those are all pretty good. I think we can actually use Rest in Peace pretty well here. Yeah, our graveyard recursion's pretty bad. Timoret. Yeah, Timoret's pretty decent. Cling to Dusk seems good in the deck. We're not using the graveyard much. We can main deck Luris and something like Nihil Spellbomb. Callous Blood Mage. I'll see what Callous Blood Mage does. Is it good enough? I feel like maybe. It's kind of. I think it would be better if we have like I don't know. 3 mana Dog. I like Kaya, honestly. Kaya, Orzhov, Usurper. I think this card's kind of decent. It's not too expensive. The Mythic Edition is expensive, but Agent of Erebos is good, yes. What are we building? We're building Brina the Demigod. Politics deck, counter deck. Those 2 things. I think Rest in Peace wouldn't be bad. Honestly, Rest in Peace wouldn't be bad. How expensive is it though? $5? Like we could just jam Rest in Peace. Because like we're not really using our graveyard that much. We could just mess people up with Rest in Peace. Kunoros is tutorable. Yeah, but Kunoros is kind of clunky, I think. I think Kaya is better. But we'll add Rest in Peace, and I think we'll add Kaya Orzhov Usurper. Ah. I do like Kaya just because it is legendary too, so we can tutor it up. What about Leyline of the Void? You can save your own graveyard. It doesn't exile stuff already in the graveyard. It is good in different ways. Yeah, Rest in Peace does generate aggro. We'll move on though. I'll tweak it a little bit later. We'll go to the finishers. Now the finishers are kind of interesting because I wasn't really sure what would be designated a finisher in the deck. I really like Ink Shield. Like, you just get attacked. And, like, the main way this deck wants to be winning is essentially kind of, like, forcing our opponents to kill each other. So stuff like Cathar's Crusade, I think, is a good finisher in the deck in general because it's all about counters. So I think we can add it here. What is the new Smothering Tide? It's monologue attacks. I don't think it's very good. I think we're going to start, like, adding, like, the generically good cards. So I really like the impetuses, impeti, psychic impetus, and martial impetus. I like Cathar's Crusade. Debt to the Deathless. I guess that's pretty good, yeah. We don't really have lots of life gain. Fellow Dark Retreat, we don't really have a lot of ways to trigger landfall. You might need some of the Outlast creatures like Absent Falconer. You can end games. I like Duelist Heritage too. There's a bunch of good stuff in the deck that it doesn't look like a finisher by itself. We got Shale as like pumpers. I like Niels a lot as a way to also pump. There's a lot of good stuff in the precon, to be honest. I really like this precon. Ooh, the Combat Calligrapher is very sexy. I like that a lot. I like Felisa a lot. Uh, I like I don't really like Selfless Squire that much. Windborn Muse, I kind of respect. It's a ghostly prison effect. Deathbringer Liege is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's great, but it's interesting. Elite Scale Guard is a great way to tap down opposing creatures. Utilize those +1/+1 counters. Sunscorch Regent is like kind of interesting. It's a big old beefy attacker, I guess, but it's like just a big old beefy attacker. What else? I really love Ink Shield. I want to kill somebody with Ink Shield so bad. So bad. We're just like throwing a bunch of stuff. I like Bloodthirsty Blade as well. I do like me some goad. Do like goading. I like Curse of Disturbance a good amount. And I like Duelist Heritage a good amount. Just yoinking a bunch of stuff from the precon because I like it. And I can do that. Which precon do you recommend, or does it depend on the style of each one? They're all good, Raphael. So it depends on what you like, honestly. All right, we've added a bunch of stuff. Nothing is like especially like a you win the game style card, but I do feel like Ink Shield will get there pretty often. Psychic Impetus. Did I not spell you right? Yeah, I didn't spell you right. I'm sorry, Psychic Impetus. Sorry. Batwing Broom. If you're playing Ink Shield, I feel like Ink Shield was better. I feel like it was better. We're at 118 cards. Pretty happy with where we're at on a lot of stuff, but we just need to cut down on some things. Varagot's kind of expensive. Thousand Dagger's kind of expensive. Thought Vessel's kind of expensive. Drandith Magistrate? Yeah, Drandith Magistrate is really good. What? Oh yeah, I meant Parasitic. Yeah, you're right. Good catch. Parasitic Impetus. Hagra Constrictor. What's Hagra Constrictor? When it enters the battlefield, with 2+1/+1 counters on it. I feel like this card is just like a worse version of the Abzan Falconer. Because you just give them all flying. Menace is just not as good as flying, I don't think. Definitely need more creatures, especially cheap ones that can come and play before Breena and get a trigger early. That's true. But we want to have like good utility creatures, right? Like we don't necessarily want to just run cards that are like cheap evasive beaters. We have Rogue's Passage already. Do we have Bazir Lieutenant? You have to sell me on Bazir Lieutenant. Is it good? So it enters the battlefield. You put a +1/+1 counter on one creature. It's 4 mana. You put a counter on one creature. Or another creature dies. If it had a +1/+1 counter on it, you make a 2/2 token. I don't think this is great. Like Embrose was kind of middling already, because we're not really an aristocrat deck. We don't have ways to have our creatures die. So I don't think this card is actually very good. I know it shows up in EDH Rec. Like if you look at like EDH recommendations for Breena and stuff, but it's not very good. I don't think so. I have a sneeze. There we go. All right. I think Felice is the way you want to go with that, right? Like Felice is just like a better Bazir's Lieutenant. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, you make a bunch of tokens as opposed to just one with Bazir's Lieutenant. And they fly, and it flies, and it makes tokens. Like Felice is just a better version of Bazir's Lieutenant. Check Mind Blamed Renderer. That's only whenever you attack with a warrior, right? If you deal, yeah, it's a warrior. How many warriors do we have in the deck? That's not a warrior. That's not a warrior. That's not a warrior. There are no warriors in the deck. Oh yeah, it doesn't say non-tokens. That's a good point. It doesn't say non-tokens. It makes it a little bit better, but I don't think it's very good. Well, there are some stuff that I'm going to make some cuts on. First one is, I think, like the more expensive tutors we're probably going to get rid of. We're at 118. We need to make 9 cuts. I like the Cathar's Crusade a lot. I like the Impetus. Ghostly Prison I like here too. Crystal Disturbance I like. Maybe we take out the Rest in Peace. Take out the Rest in Peace. We will take out the Varagoth. We'll switch the Thought Vessel for a... Well, I guess we have the dagger, so... Yeah. And we'll have 13 ramp. 3 tutors. I like these. We are splurging for the dagger, but I think it's worth. Ink Shield's $9, $10? Ugh. I can't believe Ink Shield's that much. I still want it. I'm not cutting it, but I'm a little bit sad that it costs so much. Have you ever considered Pendant Prosperity? It's in the deck. There it is. Felidar Retreat is really nice. We don't really have a lot of landfall triggers. Is Felidar Retreat really good if we're only putting 1 landfall trigger each turn or 0? I would say no. I would say no. Crackling Doom's Mardu color, so we can't run it because we're not in red. Orzhov Enforcer, maybe? What's Orzhov Enforcer? No. No, not really. Orzhov Advocates is in the deck. So Promise of Loyalty, we're keeping those in. We're keeping those in. Price of Fame's pretty good. Debt to the Deathless. Oh, what was it? I guess I was looking at Debtors now. Maybe that was the one. Are you still picking Commander? No, we're on Breena. We need to cut 6 cards. We're at $9 over budget. Knight's Whisper we can take out for like maybe like an Ancient Craving. Nothing fancy. Martial Impetus is pretty bad. Martial Impetus is fantastic. Don't know what you're talking about. Keeper of the Court is a bomb commander card. I think it's bad. I think it's bad. All the impetuses are bad? I disagree very much. You're buffing a creature and you're forcing them to attack, and they must attack someone that's not you, and you get additional bonuses out of them. They're very good. They're exactly what this deck wants to be happening. Did we miss Blood for Bones? I didn't really miss it so much as I didn't want it. Sacrifice a creature, return that creature and another creature to your hand. Don't have a lot of creatures. We're not really a sacrifice deck. So, that's a no. That's a big ol' no. Anafenza Crintry Spirit, bolster 1. Don't really need it. Cut Kaya for something more budgety. I think so. I think we just need to cut down. I want to cut down to 100 cards first, and then I'll make the final switcheroos. So Dazzling Dagger is a little bit ambitious, I guess. We could go like Prismatic Lens if we really want to, or we could hold on to it. Cut 6 lands? No. Probably the weakest of the removals. Probably Mortify at this point. I don't think we need Death to the Deathless, especially it gets worse longer the game goes. Take that out. Take out probably Mortify. Probably else we got Mortify. Unbreakable Formation. It's pretty good. It's a neat way to give stuff indestructible. Search for Glory is meh. I feel like it's good when we have a bunch of decent things we want to find with it. I don't think it's bad. We're not too far away from our budget, by the way. I'm just making some more cuts. I like all these other cards. It makes everything a little bit harder. I guess Dawnbreaking Climber is good, so we don't really need, like... I don't want to cut too much of the politic cards. Well, I'll cut out Virtus's Maneuver, I guess. Or we could, like, swap out Source of Plowshares for it or something. I don't know. Maybe you don't need Final Parting as one Graveyard Recursion. You have plenty. Benevolent Offering. It is good. I do like Benevolent Offering. Where's the Cauldron? Not in this deck. Not in this deck. Just 4 cards. All right, let's just do some cuts. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like Embargo Rights is the worst of the bunch. So we'll take that. This is actually easier to figure out this way, actually. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. I like these 3. Maybe Utter End's the weakest of the bunch. We'll cut out Virtus's Maneuver. And then we'll probably cut out Utter End. 4 mana is a lot. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 target removal. Divine Gambit, yeah. Could fit. It could fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I feel like Magister worth of those is going to be pretty terrible, but like it's not going to be whatever. It just fits the theme, I guess. Yeah, Final Parting is pretty slow. Yeah, I'll just take it out. I kind of want to make room for Drannith Magistrate. How much is Drannith Magistrate these days? I really like this card. If you were saying like have some early drops for Breena or whatever. Oof, $6. So that'd be some pretty dicey cuts. Could swap a more expensive removal for Poison the Cup. Custodes Soulbinders. How much is Custodes Soulbinders? I think that's a pretty... Yeah, it doesn't... Nah, it's just too slow. I would love to add in Drannith Magistrate, but it's probably too much. Unless we cut like... Unless we like move Kaya for something else. You could cut the dagger. Drannith Magistrate is better than the dagger. It actually is. Yeah, we'll probably swap the dagger for Prismatic Lens. Can we even go Hushbringer? I feel like Hushbringer might even be good. We don't have a lot of like enter the battlefield triggers, right? That's Blind Obedience, Relic. That's also a very good one. Gravestorm. What's Gravestorm? No. Yeah, I like Hushbringer. How much is Hushbringer these days? Hushbringer. How much is Hushbringer? $1.25? That is actually doable. I think we can shove both those cards in here. Let's get them in here. How much? Like if we, I like those cards. I like most of these cards. Is the problem. Vladimir. F for dagger. Dagger is great too. Have we considered Spirit of the Labyrinth? Oh, I guess Deathbringer Liege. How good is Deathbringer Liege in the deck? Whenever you cast a black spell, you may destroy target creature if it's tapped. Is that good enough? I feel like it's not good enough. I feel like if we take out the Liege. May cut the Elder Dragon? Absolutely not. We'll cut that. This is looking pretty darn. This is looking pretty darn sexy of a list, by the way. I think I would run this and add this to my paper collection already. I like this. I like a lot of these things a lot so far. So we're already below budget, which is nice. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like these. I like most of these things. These look weird updates sometimes. Okay. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, we have too much ramp actually. We could cut like the Spectral Searchlight / Victory Charms. I think we'll keep the chimes. We'll cut the Searchlight. And then we're already at 100. You don't like Burning Rune Demon? Not really. Not for this deck. Go down 1 planes. What we could do is Well, first of all, I'm going to go up a plains, but you'll see. You'll see. Well, we'll keep the Reliquary Tower because I like drawing cards. We'll take out the Animal Sanctuary. And we're going to replace it with a plains. Actually, no. We'll replace it with, and hear me out, Shijiri Shelter. Oof. Oof. All right. A little bit of spice. So we're going to be 36 lands, 2 MDFCs. The Orzhov Karoo. I kind of like the Orzhov Karoo only because we're running Knight of the White Orchid. It's a little bit loose of a reasoning, I guess. I guess it's a little bit bad if we have so many tap lands. Yeah, we'll take out the Basilica as well. Basilica. Take out the Basilica. We'll throw in just like a basic plains. No Ondu Inversion. Honestly, this deck is not the worst for Ondu Inversion. As much as I meme on Ondu Inversion, I feel like it's not bad here. How much is you Ondu Inversion? Is this the cheapest? This is the cheapest. How about we take out... Well, like I would take out like a board wipe for it, right? I wouldn't take out Austere Command for it. Maybe take out the Tragic Arrogance for it? Question mark? Maybe Tragic Arrogance for Ondu Inversion. We could do that. We could do that. Because we still have Promise of Loyalty, we have Austere Command, and we have Glyph Weaver. Just one plains. I don't want to go too low on tap lands. I want to have like 40-ish lands in the deck. So we'll go Ondu Inversion instead of Tragic Arrogance. So now we have 36 lands, 3 MDFCs. I really wouldn't mind Malakir Rebirth in here as well. I really like Malakir Rebirth. I like it more than Sujiri's Shelter, to be honest. So far, I'm digging a lot of these cards. Hushbringer and Drannith Magistrate are going to be pretty insane. I like the Hushbringer because it has evasion too. So yeah, it triggers well with Breena. We got another evasion hitter. We got some stuff going on here. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Are we still too high on the ramp? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Meh. Yeah, kind of. How many legendary? I always try to find a deck that has to play. We don't have enough. We don't. We have like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legendaries in the deck. It's not enough. Keep Orzhov Basilica with the high amount of MDFC. I can see that happening. Yeah. Maybe we cut down on like some of these other tap duels. We really don't need Shambling Vat. Actually, Shambling Vat triggers Breena if we really need it. So never mind. I'm taking that one back. Keeping that one under the down low. We'll take out Forsaken Sanctuary for it. Is Path of Ancestry worth it? I mean, we don't have any ways of triggering it, but it is essentially... Oh, we have like one way. We have a Combat Calligrapher in here. We have one other card. Cut the Reliquary Tower over my dead body. Over my dead body. You underestimate my card draw. So do we have... Yeah, we do. I really want to get in Malakir Rebirth if we can. I feel like Malakir Rebirth would be pretty sexy. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for wanting Malakir Rebirth in here? Man, I'm liking this deck. I wish I could play it online. But I can't. I recommend terrain generator. I think it costs too much money, right? Terrain generator. Yeah. Terrain generator. Take out a swamp for Malachir Rebirth. I feel like that's not right. Yeah, 461. It's a little bit much. I don't really want to take out a swamp for it. I want to be a good player. Triskelion for the counters. It's too slow. It's cute, but it's too slow. I think most of this is pretty good though. No Myriad Landscape? Oh, Myriad Landscape is actually good. That is my B. That is my B on that one. Maybe we take out like these. I like these. I like these. Take out the Guildgate. Take out the Guildgate for it. Guildgate. Out. Myriad Landscape. In. What about the new black Ghostly Prison Link card? It's pretty good. It helps avoid pokes, but it doesn't stop like lethal attacks. I'm kind of ambivalent on it. Take out Reliquary Tower. You underestimate how much I like Reliquary Tower. You're gonna have to do a lot to convince me to take out the Reliquary Tower. I think what we could do is maybe we take out like I don't know, maybe we'll take out Scoured Barrens for a Malachir Rebirth. I'm not sure if that's correct. Essentially we have 39 lanes total, 35 lanes, 4 MDFCs. I don't like Steady Hall. 5 vessels to pair with your Reliquary Tower. I need to get the price a little bit down. We could go like, instead of Sword Splashers, we can go Sajiri Ambush. But I think that's fine. I think that's good. That was fine. It was fine and good. Kabira Takedown, that's the one. We could do instead of Price of Fame, we could do Kabira Takedown, even though I think Kabira. Actually, we'll take out Collective Effort for Kabira Takedown. Boom. Collective Effort. There we go. We got all the MDCs I wanted in here. Is Merciless Eviction too pricey? No, but I think Austere Command's just better than Merciless Eviction. Personally, that is my hot take. I think we've done it. I think we've done it, chat. I pretty much really like this. The Swords cost less than Path? Yes, by just a little bit. And I think Swords is a better card. But I think we've got there, chat. We can do cheaper graveyard removal than Kaya to find room for budget for more fun. We definitely could replace Kaya for something. I'm not quite sure what it would be. There are a lot of cheaper options. I like that Kaya is a legendary. We could do Timorat. Timorat. This one. This guy. Exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. We could replace Kaya with that, actually. Wouldn't be the worst. But it does require us to pay mana each time. How expensive is new Kaya? It's $4. Soul Lantern. I like that Kaya can be tutored up with Search for Glory. That's what I like. Soul Guide Lantern is fantastic too. But I like Kaya also can blow up Soul Rings and whatnot. And it also removes big tokens. If somebody has a token that's really problematic, we get rid of it with Kaya. And yeah, you can get it back with Sun Titan and like a Mary Shepherd and stuff like that. So I think that's a deck, chat. Like, it doesn't really have like any combo finishers or anything too insane. But overall, I feel like this deck is really solid. So the game plan is We basically play control, right? We have Breena on the battlefield, which kind of encourages our opponents to attack each other. It's a very fantastic, just like incremental card draw engine that we have in the command zone. We have these early game control cards with like Draneth Magistrate and Hushbringer, which we can get back with like Sun Titan and whatnot if they die. Then we have a bunch of ways to use counters to our advantage. So we have like Shale, we have Niels, we have Orzhov Advocus, we have Felisa. We have a bunch of ways of adding counters. Shadrix, all these stuff add a bunch of counters. Cathar's Crusade add counters. And then we can utilize them in various ways. We can use them with, where are you? Together Forever as a way to get stuff back to our hand if they die. Felisa makes a bunch of tokens when the creatures die. Ambrose draws us cards when they die. And we also have Elite Scale Guard taps down creatures to make attacking a lot easier. But the main way of winning the game, essentially, is kind of like forcing our opponents to attack each other. Niels, Discipline Enforcer, again, it pumps our stuff and our opponent's stuff, but makes it much harder for them to actually attack us. Orzhov Advocates makes it hard for people to attack us. Combat Calligrapher, again, makes it very hard for the tokens we give to our opponents to attack us. Elite Windborn Muse makes them have to pay more mana to attack us. Same with Ghostly Prison. Duelist Heritage we can use to pump our opponent's attacking creatures and our own attacking creatures. If they attack somebody else, we can give them double strike. Curse of Disturbance, another way to give tokens to people if they attack somebody else. We force them to attack other people with Martial Impetus and Parasitic Impetus. Still sad you didn't get Feign the Broker in the deck. I don't like. I think it's just slow and clunky. I don't know. But yeah, so those are the main ways we're going to close out games. So we're going to basically force our opponents to do the dirty work for us, and then we just kind of get in there just for the late game damage with like Shadrix Silverquill and whatnot to really clean up on our end. But overall, I'm pretty happy with all of this. There's a lot of control options here, a lot of control options here. And I feel like we can drag the game out pretty long. We have a lot of card draw and ways to just like keep everybody off their own game plan. What about cunning rhetoric for more attacks from opponents attacking? I find cunning rhetoric just worse than Ghostly Prison, to be honest. Ghostly Prison prevents pokes, just like cunning rhetoric prevents pokes. But if an opponent has lethal on you, cunning rhetoric does 0, right? Cunning rhetoric is just like, all right, exile a few cards off top of my library, but you're still dead. Like, I don't have to pay extra to kill you. Whereas Ghostly Prison is like, if an opponent has lethal on you, they still can't swing at you unless they have the mana to do so. So I don't think Cunning Rhetoric is that good. But yeah, you need land destruction in your mana base 100% of the time. I have Tectonic Edge. It's not a lot, but it's something. What about Cunning Rhetorics for more attacks from opponents? Yeah, nah. What about Revenge of the Raven, though? It's too minimal. I think this is a pretty good chat. I think this is a good mix of politics, counters, and just like good old interaction. And we hit pretty easily the $100 price point. This is a deck that I would personally love to run. Unfortunately, you can't play it on Magic Online because like half the cards are not available. But this is definitely a deck that I would love to play in paper. So that's it for the stream, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I think this was a pretty good stream, I would say. Like, we kind of like stuck to a schedule. We went section by section, and it was a pretty painless process, I think. So thank you so much for picking Breena for this stream. I hope you enjoy what this deck ended up looking like, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So that's it for me, friends. I'll be back Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, for some gameplay action. We can't play Breena because Breena's not available online. I'll find some other sweet brew, though. So yeah, it'll be a ton of fun. And until then, friends, see ya.